First, thanks all for all of you to be here. We are honored of doing this. It's the first time that we do a roadshow for the last cohort. We've been doing this for a decade, but it's the first time that we do this, and it was a real pleasure. And we're very excited about all these funders. And just to thank all the team. Maya did a great job. All our team also excellent. And just for you to know a little bit about GRIDX, just a briefly introduction. We see a lot of friends here, but just to let you know, we are a venture capital fund. That are connecting Latin American science with the global venture capital industry. We already created a portfolio of 81 companies, from all around the regions, more than 220 founders, more than 160 scientific founders. 75% of our founders' portfolio companies are led by women founders, and already are more than 1,000 people working on our company. 70% of that are related to science. That many scientists doing great stuff outside the academia in Latin America. A lot of maybe companies that you already know that are in great stuff on their last years. But to create these kind of companies is not easy in Latin America. So when we started seeing that there were no startups to invest in the region. So we created a particular model to help the scientists to transform that science into companies. So we have a 3-stage process where we first are discovering all these amazing minds, scientific minds in the region, and also amazing and very brave entrepreneurs that wants to jump into this conversation. We mapped a lot of scientific research in the region. We have a very deep database of those projects. There are no science ministry or there are no multilateral organism that knows about this information of how much potential have the region in terms of creating companies. Then we select scientists and entrepreneurs, and we put them together in what we call like a Tinder between scientists and entrepreneurs. Many of what you're going to see today is a product of that Tinder, and we hope they are creating a long-term family, so not only a casual relationship. So after that, we've been doing this for the last 8 years, and we are running right now the 9th cohort. We invest in them and we put them on the spot to connect them with worldwide investors. We did very good this with IndieBio. IndieBio was a great supporter for us for the last 8 years. Already 13 companies went through their processes and we co-invested there in San Francisco and also in New York. So when we do that, today our rate is that 70% of the portfolio companies after a year raise funds from other investors. Connecting with investors not only in the US but all around the world. We have a team in all the region, team science and business profiles in Mexico, in Brazil, in Uruguay, and Argentina. A leadership team that is a really full life commitment with this, and international advisory board. All this show us a leapfrog opportunity in Latin America, and because we are a bio-based region. Why we are a bio-based region? Because we have human and nature advantages. Human, because we have 200,000 researchers related to life sciences in the region, and almost none of them are working outside the academia. That makes sense. Now we have to go for them, to help them to transform that powerful science into something impactful. And also, we have a nature advantages. Latin America is the most biodiverse region in the world, and maybe all on this room knows about the power of biodiversity, but you also need not only the power of biodiversity, but also the people who knows about biodiversity. Today, 20 companies or more from our portfolio rely on biodiversity from Antarctica, from the Puna in Los Andes, from Amazonia, from Patagonia, to create products and services from that biodiversity, and that's a reality. And we need to do it, and it's an urgent need to do this, because as these scientists from the Stockholm University is framing, these planetary boundaries are demanding us a different way on how we produce, and these kind of companies can bring this. So we want to be part from Latin America of this process. We know that we can do it. We've been doing for the last 10 years, and we know that in the next 10 years things have to change, and so we're very committed to that. So after that, thank you, enjoy the demo day, but we are going to start with John Cumbers.
Thank you, Matthias. So good to see so many familiar faces, people I haven't seen in a long time. So good to see so many Latin American people here, and also so much passion and so much energy for the bioeconomy. I've already talked with amazing founders who are making everything from bioplastics to antioxidants, enzymes, to new forms of molecules to regulate metabolism. So it's wonderful. We've got new T-shirts coming that you'll see later on today if you're down at the conference. It says the Nerd Herd. That's what we are. We're part of the Nerd Herd. So welcome.
Who says your part?
Who says I'm part of it?
The shepherd. Who's the shepherd?
Oh, yeah. I guess I am the shepherd, yeah. So I wanted to welcome you all to San Francisco, to the Bay Area. I think it's a very exciting time to be in biotechnology, but it's a very tumultuous time on the global stage. We're definitely in this fourth turning right now, and everybody's trying to understand what does the future look like. And I'm reminded that at times like that, community is the most important thing. And I'm reminded by so many friendly people coming up and saying hi and wanting to hug and just reconnect how important community is. And I wanted to tell a story about a particular Latin American founder who is a good friend of mine now, called Ivan Jobert Rodriguez. I see a few people know Ivan. So Ivan is on the SynBioBeta team. He's the director of entrepreneurship. He grew up in Monterrey in Mexico. And Ivan and I recently shared our 7-year anniversary. We went out for dinner and we celebrated our 7-year anniversary. 7 years, not of working together, we worked together the last 4 years, but 7 years of knowing each other. Because it was 7 years ago, just a couple of weeks ago, that I got this random email, cold email, from Ivan. And it said, I've read your book. I'm a big fan of synthetic biology. I'm here in the Bay Area. Would you have time to meet for coffee? And I resonated with Ivan for a couple of reasons. One, I lived in Mexico. I lived in Mexico City 20 years ago. I was an exchange student at El Iberoamericana in Mexico City. And I have a strong connection with Mexicans. I have a strong connection with Latin American culture. My Spanish is pretty rusty now, but at the time I was fairly fluent in Spanish as well. So I really connected with Ivan, but I also connected with the kind of scrappiness of the cold email, right? We've all been there. I see PJ from Bayer nodding. We've all been there where you're like, you just give it a shot. You're just going to email somebody and give it a shot. And I just saw the scrappiness in this guy reaching out to me saying, I'm here in the Bay Area. Can we meet up for coffee? So I thought, well, I'm going to blow this guy's mind. I'm not just going to meet up for coffee. It just so happened that weekend we were hosting our thought leader retreat at the Ritz-Carlton in Half Moon Bay. And for those of you who know the Ritz-Carlton in Half Moon Bay, it's one of the most luxurious hotels in the Bay Area. And Half Moon Bay is just the beautiful California Pacific coast. It's just absolutely stunning. So I said, when are you in town until? And he was like, I can't remember when. He said, till Monday. I said, well, if you want, you can come join us at the Ritz-Carlton tomorrow. And this was like 100 people, all of our CEOs, all of the investors, all of the founders coming together, which we do once a year for our sponsors. So this guy, what he didn't tell me is the reason he was in the Bay Area was his honeymoon. So he replied, he said, I need to check with my wife. Anyway, he ended up bringing his wife as well to the retreat, and the rest is history. Now he's the director of entrepreneurship. He's been doing a fantastic job, and so I just wanted to give that story because there's so many times that, particularly when you feel like you're not in the right place, but you want to be in the right place. And so there's so much potential in Latin America. There's so much potential in the science that we're all doing. There are so many problems that biology can solve, whether they're climate or whether they're food or whether they're health. And they're all on display both in this room and then across the next 3 days at SynBioBeta as well. So I want to just encourage everybody, it doesn't matter where you were born, it doesn't matter where your company is right now. With organizations like GRIDX and Matthias and your colleagues, there's opportunity out there. And although it's tumultuous times right now in the US and the funding environment is up in the air, there's so much opportunity. So think of that cold email that you're going to send tomorrow and just get it out there, because you never know, the world will change because of it. So thank you again for having me. Thank you, Maya, as well. Thank you all. If there's anything I can do to help, then please feel free to reach out. I appreciate you all. Thank you.